Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new or not subscribed my channel, please subscribe to my channel, like, share with your friends. So in this video, we are going to create a API. The API will be return a book and calculate the find JSON. First, we are going to create a controller. Here, it will be a post mapping, and then we are going to pass return slash issue ID, and then public JSON node return book. And here we'll pass long issue ID, and we also need a map. We have the string, nice string, and then we are going to extract the value from this map. Uh, Local date, return date, data dot date, return date, and this should be local. And then finally, we are going to call issue service. This should be in controller path. Sorry. Sorry for the return. This is service and return book. And just pass the issue ID and return date. And this method is return or book. Now this method is not available. First we are going to create this method, and then here we are also going to calculate if any delay, then we are going to calculate the fine also. So first I'm going to create object node, response object method dot create object node, and then I'm going to check within the optional class uh, issue. It's optional issue repository dot find by ID. I just passing the issue ID. Will validate this issue ID is valid or not. If issue optional dot is empty, then if it is empty, then we are going to return the response. Response dot put will be error. Response dot put message will be to record not found with ID. Just giving the issue ID. and return the response. And now if it is present, then issue and dot get. And then we are going to issue of issue dot set return date and return date. And now we are going to calculate if there is any file, then local date, due date, issue dot get due date. So we have the return date and issue date. As the return date is after the due date, then we are going to calculate how many days it is delayed. So first we are going to calculate this. Long late days, and where is the chrono chrono unit chrono unit dot days between due date and return date. This method will basically will calculate what is the difference between these 2 days, these two dates, and then if late days is greater than 0, it means it is will check how many days then we are going to. If it is a greater than 0, it means there is a delay, and then we are going to set the value. Issue dot set fine amount, and the fine amount will be in the issue we have fine amount as a double, then double fine amount late is just multiply by 10, calculating the fine amount for each days. And here I am taking the example of for each day I am taking as a 10 rupees as a fine for each day. For each day this amount, and now I'm going to set this amount, and then we are going to save. And now I'm also going to update in book DB book books issue dot get books, and then books dot set available copies, books dot get available copy plus one. Increase the count of available copies. Here we receive the books, so we are going to increase the count available copies. Here we do that, and now and we are going to save this in books repository dot save. Let's and now see repository dot save. It should now these two values we have calculated and saved. And now in the find table we have a file. So here we are going to also insert the value in the find table, because if I'm issuing any book to the member and for a particular day for a 7 days, but the member return the books after 10 days. So there will be fine for 3 days. Whenever they return the books, automatically it will also save the data in the find table as well. So here we are going to do the same thing in the returns API, return books API. If find exists, then create find, then create find entry. And we have if we have a fine amount, or we can also add the late days, because we can also consider the late date, or it will be or we can consider the fine amount. And we are going to declare this outside, and if fine amount is greater than zero, then we are going to create equal to 0.0. Then fine equal to new fine, and then we're going to set the value fine dot set amount. It will be the fine amount, and fine dot set member, so dot get member, and fine dot set fine date. It will be the return date, and fine dot set fine with it will be false, and then finally we are going to return. We are going to save the data in fine repository dot save file. If this is not available, I need to inject the dependency authorize private find repository, find repository, and finally we save the data in find repository. And now I'm going to return the response dot put response dot put message with return successfully, return successfully, response dot put, and then we are going to return the member ID and find member name. Issue dot get member dot get name, response dot put fine amount. This will be same as the fine amount. And finally, we are going to return response dot put return date, and this will be same as the return date to string. And finally, we are going to return the return response. So what I did, I'm just going to explain once again. Here we get in the request as issue ID and return date. And based on that, first we are going to check this issue ID. This particular issue ID is valid or not. Then if it is invalid, then we are going to return the response. This is the issue record not found with ID, and return the issue ID. And if it is the valid, then we are going to save the return date. It is this particular date we mentioned. We set the return date, and then we are going to calculate what is the due date and what is the return date. If there is any difference, then we are going to calculate the fine difference between if the user return the book after the due date. If they are returning the before due date, then there is no problem. There will be not any fine. And here we are calculating a fine amount for each day. And considering here for the calculation, I am taking a 10 rupees fine for each day. And if late day is greater than 0, then the fine amount for load day, suppose it is for 3 days and we multiply by 10 rupees, it will be 30 rupees. And we are going to update in the book as well, because we got the books received. Then librarian is we are going to increase the count of the available copies plus one. Whenever we are issuing the copy, then it will going to increase from the database. Whenever we are received the we return back the books, we are going to increase the count. But this way, this one where we completed this, and then these two, the book repository and issue book, we are going to save in the data in database. And here we calculate the fine amount. Fine amount is basically fine exists when we create a fine entry. If the fine amount is greater than 0, so it means there is a fine. Then we initialize the fine object, and we save the fine amount and member and find date, and if it is trade or not. It by default and keep as a false. In the we are going to create a if the fine amount is paid, then in the fine service we are going to change this false to true because it whenever we paid then we are going to change this false to true, and then we save the data, and finally we return the response. Now I'm going to rerun the application and paste this API. And what is the URL will be return. We have to pass the ID. Here we are going to issue books, and here will be return and slash issue ID. For example, I'm taking the issue ID 1, and if it's post mapping and the body, we need a return date. And for the issue ID, we need to check the due date is 10th of November. I'm going to return this book. For example, after it is 10, I'm going to return for after on 15. So there will be calculation for 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 for 5 days. And I'm going to hit this API. Okay, there is an issue controller. Text issue controller. I'm checking what is exactly going. What went wrong. I'm just checking. Uh, so return book. Okay, I need to. Here we need to add the path variables, and here we need to add the request body. Now I'm going to rerun this. It is taking some time to restart the server. Now the Tomcat is started on port 8080. I'm going to run the with the APIs. Yes. So finally, book returned successfully, and fine amount is 50 rupees and return date is 15. So we are going to verify from the database, and here we have our issue and return date. It is mentioned in the issue, and the books. It increased the count from previous. It was 3. It is now plus 1. It is now available. Copies is 4, and we are going to check the file, and here it is updated. The amount is 50 rupees. The same way it is calculated. First, it is updated on the issue return date. In the second, it increased the count of the available counts in books database. And third one, it is calculated the fine amount. In this particular API, we actually we update the data in the 3 different database: books, issue, and fine database. So this API is working fine. And thank you so much for watching this video. And if you didn't subscribe my channel, please subscribe my channel, like and share. Thank you.